I think we're just 4 minutes time. So we're just quickly going to get through, and I'll be sharing my screen with you so we can actually see everything. So today we'll be talking about Trello, everything about Trello, and it's going to be like a beginner to an intermediate class. So, and I'm sure anyone that comes in will be able to follow up as well. My name is Chris Fega, and I am a practicing product manager at the moment. So quickly, let's talk about what Trello is. Okay, we'll just run through an overview of what Trello is, like I wrote on the whiteboard. Trello is basically a visual work management tool, or you can call it a project management tool. And it was basically developed by Toyota in Japan. So there are other platforms like this, other project management tools like Trello, that includes Jira, Fabricator, Asana, Pivotal Tracker, and all of it. So, but I think Trello stands out. Trello stands out, and probably because of the power ups it has. We'll talk about what power ups are. And so quickly, we're going to run through the organizing principles of Trello. Okay, Trello uses a method of organizing the workspace. We'll learn what a workspace is. So basically, we have what we call a board. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Okay. All right, now. So this is the Trello space, and we're going to run through what all of this means. And basically, this is a template, a Kanban template, and we can actually create our own board, of which we will do that. So basically, Trello has an organizing principle that includes, or that starts from a board, a list, a card, a board, a list, a card. So what is actually a board in Trello? Okay, the board in Trello represents a place where we can keep track of informations. We can keep track of our informations, and it's a place where we can actually organize our task very well. Okay, and we can actually represent all the little details, and most importantly, we can collaborate with our team members, your colleagues. Okay, then we also have what we call a list. But before that, this whole space we're seeing here now, this is a board. I believe everyone can see my screen. Amaka, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. So this is the board. This is the board. This whole place here is the board, and we have some items on the board already that I would explain subsequently. So we also have what is called a list. Okay, the list keeps cards and specific tasks or pieces of information organized in various stages. Okay, you can use this to create a workflow. That is, we can also move our card around. So basically, this is a list. You can see we have several lists here. We have the backlog list, the design list, to doing code review and testing and done. Okay, it depends on it depends on what you are doing, and you can create as many lists as you like. There is no limit to the number of lists that you can create, and you can arrange them the way you like. Okay, we also have what we call card. Inside the list, we have a card. Okay, now this is a sequence. Now, inside the workspace, we have the board. Inside the board, we have a list. Inside the list, we have a card. Okay, now I'll quickly tell you what the workspace is. I think I jumped that. Okay, so a workspace is simply where information can be shared and we can collaborate on. Okay, now see the workspace as that your physical workspace in your office where you and your team member can sit and plan and collaborate properly. Okay, now then see the board there as your workstation table that is there for you. Okay, so now, like I said, we have what we call a card. Okay, we've talked about the list, a card. The card is the smallest, most detailed unit of the board. All these things we see here, these are cards. We'll talk about them. And it can be something that probably okay, let's say you need to do some things and all of that. And you can customize the cards different way you want. You can add colors, you can do a whole lot of stuff. And there's no limited number of cards you can create. Now, the card is basically used to represent tasks and ideas. Okay, you can see this is a backlog, design, to do, and all of that. Now, we can add, you see here now, example tasks. We can add something to it now. Okay, now this is an example of the card. We'll talk about them. I'm just running through so you just have a glimpse of it. Now, we also have what we call the board menu. Okay, we have what we call the board menu. This is like a control center for your board where you can actually manage your members, board permission and control settings. Okay, now you see this now. This is the menu as well too. And we have another one here. Okay, good. Okay, we also have the view. We'll talk about the view as well too. Good. Okay. All right, now, we're simply going to run through and probably build a project using this Trello. Hello? So you learn how to create, you learn how to create a board. You learn how to create, Amaka, you learn how to create a board. You learn how to create a board and how to customize your board and how to give your board a unique feel. Okay, you learn how to add members to your board. You learn how to build a workflow. And you will learn the components of the card, what is inside the card, how to add description to the card and comment and all of this. Okay, you learn all this and then you learn the different views in Trello and how to be able to update our Trellos by just sending a mail and how we can manipulate workspace as well too. So we'll learn all of this today. So quickly, I'm just going to create a new board. Let's not use this existing one. So you can actually get how it is done. This is a template. This is actually a template. So we'll create a new one. I think my network. Okay, let's just create a new one. Okay, so we're going to create a board. But first, let's start by creating a workspace. This I already have a workspace where I can create multiple boards. So I'll click on create workspace. So you can actually put your workspace name. So let me just put top universe here. Top universe as the and let's say we want to use our workspace for let's say we want to use it for engineering, let's say for a product. So we can just give it a description, say so just continue. Good. And now you can actually invite members of your team. If you're the one creating the workspace, you can invite member of your team. And I'll just do this later. I'll do this later. Good. And we're not supposed to have a template. Okay, good. Good. So if you want to use templates, there are templates in Trello that you can use. There are boards already that are existing here that you can use. You see, we have the Kanban template, sprint retrospective, the agile template, and site reliability. There are lots of them. We can browse a lot of them. Okay, you can choose different categories that will show different templates for you. Let's say, for instance, if I click marketing, to show different templates. You see, we have the go-to-market strategy, editorial calendar, the project management, and marketing overview. So this is not our what we want to do, but for you, you can explore all of this and try to make something out of it. So we just click on create new board. Okay, so we give our board a title. You can give it a title. Let's just call it work board. Okay, good. Now take note. I'm running this account on free mode, so all functionalities will not really be accessible on the free mode. There are some functionalities that we can't access on the free mode. You can only get to access them if you're on the premium mode. So when you are signing up on Trello, you'll see the option to sign up for free or for premium. So if you're working with a large organization that probably has a budget for all of these tools, you can go for the premium. Otherwise, you can use the free mode and be able to tweak it. But one of the disadvantages or one of the limitations of using the free mode is that you won't be able to use more than one power up at a time. Okay, we'll learn what a power up is in Trello. So I just quickly click the create. I'll click the create. Okay, good. Now we have our board. This is our board. Okay, it's a bare bone board. Nothing is here. Okay. So now Trello is so unique that you can actually change your background, you can do anything you want. So we have a whole lot of stuff here that we're going to talk about. No, so firstly, this, you see, we have a place called to do, doing, and done. This is like default settings when you create a board. You can change all of this. You can change it to anything you want. You can create as many lists as you want. I can decide to create feedback and add this here. Feedback, analysis, other lists. I can decide to add as many lists as I want to add. The same thing for you. You can add as many as you want to add. So under the list, we have what we call card. You can add cards. You can add cards here. Now, like I said earlier on, the cards are like the smallest, most detailed unit of a board, and it is used to represent tasks and ideas. Let's say, for instance, now, say to do, let's say we're working on a product and we have some existing things to do. Let's say, let's call this carry out research, good, and we'll add that card. We can create as many cards as we want. We'll customize the card and see how it works very well. So you can add so many things to the card. Now, aside the card, there are other things we need to learn about. We'll learn about what a label is as well too. So let's just click on the card and see what is in the card. So the card is basically a two-sided object in the Trello board. That the front you see is just shows the name. That's the title of the card. While behind the card, there's something. For you to see what is behind the card, you have to click on the card and it will show you these informations here. Good. So we have three basic things that we need to look at here. Number one, the description. We had the add section, the description, the add section, and the comment and activity section. The comment and activity section. So this description is what we use to add description to the card. Let's say, since we have our title as carry out research, let's say we can put, let's say, build survey forms. And you can add test survey forms, do a mouse, or do a peer Q&A. Good. So this is just an example. And then even if you don't save automatically, it's saved. But I usually like to save, click save, and it's there. You can see it already showed that something is under it, this text text icon here shows that something is under it now. Now, if you look at the add to cart section, hello, Amaka, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Fega.
Okay, sorry, I just want to ask, how long is this class going to take? How many minutes or hours?
Supposed to be an hour, but you can take more, depends when you finish.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Okay.
I just don't want to be in a hurry, and so everybody can actually get along very well.
All right.
So now we have the first section, or rather the first tool under the add to cart section. It's members. Here you can actually add members to your card. Okay, you can add members to your card directly to this card. Now take note, you can have multiple lists, like I said, but restrict the member or the team, your team members, to each of these lists. Okay, probably the person that will be working on that particular card in that list section, you add the person to it. So it keeps everything organized. It's just like having an office space where a place, okay, let's say you have a place in your office complex where research is done, and a particular set of people are meant to be in that place to work very well. Now, just in case you want to get feedback, you can actually get feedback from them. You can get a report from them directly. That is like this here. So those are the people that are assigned to that place. So you can assign members to a particular card here. Also, we have what we call labels. You can create labels, create new labels, and let's say I put done, select the color, and I create. Good. Now, this means that whatever card that carries this means the card is representing an information. It means that this card is done. For instance, I label this as done now. Okay, it means that whenever you see this sign on a card, means it is done already. So I can start to create another one and say, let's say, take note, all of this information, they are not a template. They are not a template for building your own Trello board. Okay, they're not a template. You can actually build it as you like and customize as your team is working. I usually say that, okay, the way your team is working offline or physically, you should probably reciprocate it or create a corresponding Trello board for your team so that it doesn't look too formal or too out of line for your team, so that they can actually work with it properly. It's just like they're just doing it a faster mode. Just that's the essence of technology, basically. So we can create more labels. I can decide to add halfway and give it a color. Good. We have different labels there. So you can reuse labels at different places in your board. Okay, different card. You can call the labels over and over again. You can add them to whatever. So I can decide to just remove this, unclick this, and it will be out of the card. Okay, it's not applied to that card again. So that's for labels. Now we have another one called checklist. Now, checklist is to probably create a list of items, or creating a list of items where that would lead to the overall success of that particular task. Okay, that will lead to the overall completion of that particular goal. That is how the checklist. So if I click on it now, it's going to pop out a whole lot of options for us. Now, adding checklist to cards that require subtasks or have multiple steps to make sure nothing falls out is very, very, very important. And also for accountability, you can add this checklist. You can add due dates to the checklist. Okay, and when the date is almost there, rather, it's probably inform the members or the team members attached to that card. It sends them a notification 24 hours before the due date. That is how it works. So if I click on this now, let's say I just create, let's say, check, just for that. Okay, good. Now we can add an item. Let's say, just call it right. Good. You see, we have a box here, and text, publish. Good. Now, if I check this now, you see, it moves, okay? And it's done. So the checklist basically, it helps to probably segment the process in the card, the steps in the card, the steps taken that will be taken rather to achieve the overall goal in that task. Don't forget that a card can be a task. A card can be anything. Okay. Now let's say your card is a task. You have a task list or a task on your card. Now this task is a goal that you need to achieve. So you can as well break this goal down using a checklist. So whenever it's done, you click it and it's done, and it shows that you've done that part. And until you achieve all the all probably the minor goals to sum up to the overall goal. That is how the checklist work. Okay, and we can as well delete them as well too. Okay, if you come back to this place now, we'll see that we have this sign here. First of all, we have the text box to show that there is a description. You see, the card has a description, and we have the checklist item as well too. So if it's not complete, we'll be able to see, if I remove this now, you'll see that it won't show the green color to show it that it's not complete, okay? Good. Now, there are other tools, advanced tools that we can actually use to set the automation of all of this process, but I think that would be in another class, or probably for you to explore, and you grow towards that part, the automation of Trello. Now, let's go back. Okay, good. Now we also have dates. Okay, this is like more like timestamps, attaching timestamp to your card. So you can set the due date, the start date, and the end date for a particular task. Okay, let's say we set this, and okay, this is a time as well, and we set the due date. Okay, this is a due date reminder. 1 day before, you can set it whichever you can do. 2 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and all of that. 2 days before and all of that. Okay, so it depends on how you want your notification to work, but usually 24 hours before the due time it's better. So you can set this. Okay, this is the start date, and this is the due date now. Now let's assume that the due date, okay, just 1 day interval now, 1 day difference. Now we'll click on save. Now this means that we've attached, let's go back. We've attached a timestamp to this old task. Okay, it means we are meant to carry out our research from September and make sure by September 3rd, and make sure by September 4th it is ready, okay, for this task, that we're not lagging behind. That's it. So we'll move on to the next. We also have what we call attachments. At this point, we can actually attach files from different points, from your local storage, that's your computer, and from cloud storage services like Google Drive, Dropbox, and Microsoft OneDrive, and even Trello itself, okay? Or possibly if you have your file stored somewhere else and you have the link to your file, you can paste the link here. Let's say you have your file stored in a place like Mega or some other cloud storage facility that is not listed here. You can just paste the link here, and automatically it will synchronize with your job, with your project rather, synchronize with it. So that's for the attachment. Then we have another one called cover. Now this cover section is actually a visual tool, basically to make your card look a bit more attractive and more relatable. So I can decide to just maybe add colors. You can add colors. You can set the size. Okay, you can set the size. You can add colors. You see, it's already taking effect. Good. You can set the size, whichever one. Okay, I think I like this. You can set the color as well too. Set the color, whichever color you want. Okay, these are the default colors here. I'm not sure there's any option to change this in this frame mode. Now, you can also upload a cover image. Okay, I can probably decide to upload a cover image from my local storage. Okay, you can see we have the cover image there. Okay. Or probably use an image from Unsplash, or search for photos from Unsplash as well too. I believe most of us know Unsplash. Okay. Okay, we have it here already. Good. Okay, let's use this instead. All right. So okay, I want us to be seeing all these items we're adding to it, so that's fine. Then we close. Okay, that's the usefulness of the what's it called? The usefulness of the cover. Okay, the cover function. That's usefulness. Good. So let's delete this one off. Good. Now we also have a place called custom field. Okay, custom field. Now this custom field usually is something we use. Let's say you want to add something that is not here. Okay, you want to add a feed that is not, you want to create your own feed. Okay, we use this. We use this. Okay. Now let's move down to okay. We still have a lot to talk about here. Okay, but some of them are not really so important. You can get through them by just looking at it. All right, now let's quickly look at the activity section. Okay. Now the activity section shows all the things you've done, the changes you've committed to your card. Okay. Now we have activity for the card. We also have activity for the board itself. So we can as well check the activity for the board. Same way we check the activity for the card. So you will be able to see who and who is making changes on that particular card. Take notes. There is also a function to set permission of members. Okay, we can set permission for members as well too. Okay, that's it. So now we also have what we call power ups, like I mentioned earlier. Now power ups, these are external apps or external tools or platforms that we can actually integrate with Trello for more productivity. Okay, now there are external tools we can add for more productivity. Okay, this thing is stuck. Let's wait. Good. All right, now you can see we have a whole lot of them here. We have Jira, Confluence, we have so many of them. Okay, you can see email to board, Gmail, Microsoft Teams, Google Drive, list limits, and Slack. We have Slack there. There are so many of these. See them like an add-on, okay? An add-on for productivity. Add-ons that we can add to we can put to our, integrate with our board for productivity, for more productivity. And like I said earlier, for the free mode, we can only add one power up at a time. Okay, it means that for us to be able to use another power up, we'll have to disable the first one to be able to use another one. Okay, that's how it works basically. So there's also some other functions I will talk about. Okay, now let's quickly jump to the how you'll be able to update your cards and your list from your email. We'll simply click on the share. Click on the share and okay, we can see this here, email for this card. You see email for this card. So if you read what is on there, I say email sent to this address will appear as a comment by you on your card. Okay, we have two options of updating from our email. Either we're updating the card or we're updating the list. Okay, we'll talk about the list on as well too. So once you copy this, you take it to your mail, and this becomes your address that you're sending it to. Okay, you just copy it and paste it at your mail, and whatever thing you add there will come and it will be in your card. Okay, it will create a new card. Okay, you create a new comment. Sorry, create a new comment on the card, on the particular card. Okay, all right, let's get on. Good. Now we also have, okay, look, you see we have our power ups here. We have our power ups here where we can actually add all these external tools to it, like Jira and Slack. We can add them to it. Good. And we have automation, but we're not going to talk about automation today. Okay, good. Now we also have a menu here. I talked about this menu before. I said this is like the control center, the board menu is like the control center. And you can see this is where we see all the activities on the board. Okay, all the activities on the board. So if we're adding a new card here, let's say for this. Let's say what we're building is building, um, um, let's say building a payment API, and that's it. Good, good. Now you can see that the activity is shown here. So it means that it cuts across, regardless of the list or the card, it shows all the activity that we're doing on this particular board. The other one I showed you earlier, or I talked about earlier, is it shows you the activity done on that card. But this one shows you the activity done on the board itself, okay? On the board itself. So there you'll be able to see who and who is doing a whole lot of stuff. Now, we'll not be able to access custom feed because since we're using free trial here, we'll not be able to access custom feed for the free trial. So if you are on a premium package or a premium plan, you'll be able to access the custom feed and probably set your own field for all your own rules for this board. Okay. And the first thing I said when I created this board, I talked about the background, and I said Trello gives you the opportunity to work with different colors, different background and everything. So we can do that from here. We can change the background, we can change the color. I can decide to use any color, good. Can change it depending on your mood and your take on colors. Okay, good. Now, and we can also use a background. You can choose to use a background as well too. So that's quite a whole lot. So Trello is one important project management tool. Okay. Now we've learned about what a board is, what the workspace is, how to create the workspace, how to create a board in a workspace, how to create a card, what a card is, how to create list in the workspace, how to add card. Now, one thing I talked about that we've not done is moving card. We can move this card from here and put it here. We can move it across to different points across the list on the board. We can move it like that. We can move it, and we can also copy. We can copy this whole thing and create the card and move it to somewhere else. We can do a whole lot of stuff like that. So, okay, we can do a whole lot of stuff like that on this now. So it's quite a lot. So we've learned how to manipulate card, how to create card in a list, how to manipulate card, and how to add members of your team to your workspace, how to add members of your team to your card as well too. And I said that you can add to your workspace, and you can also streamline that member to a particular card to work on that particular card. And we learned about the functions behind the card, or probably the tools behind the card. So I said the card is a two-way tools on the list that the front face shows you the title of the card, or probably what is on the card, while the back of it brings out the tools and everything we can use to manipulate the card. Okay, so don't forget, I think something you should take home here is don't forget that Trello has an organizing principle, and the organizing principle is you create a workspace. From a workspace, you create a board. From a board, you create a list, and from a list, you create a card. You can create as many lists as you want. You can create as many cards as you want in a list as well too. Then you can create several boards in a workspace as well too. But you cannot create a workspace in a workspace, okay? It's just, you can create several boards in a workspace depending on your team, on the products you're working on as well too. Now, one of the importance of using Trello is that it helps you create an effective roadmap, okay? A very high-end roadmap for a product, and it helps in agile management as well too, okay? It helps in agile management. Now, we're going to run through something very important before I forget. Now, this whole thing here, it's called the board view. We have different views in Trello. We have about 6 views in Trello. We have 6 views, and these 6 views range from the board, the calendar view. We have the map view. Okay, it's all here. This is the board. We have the timeline view, the table view, the calendar view, the dashboard view, and the map view. Okay, these are the different six views we have in Trello. Okay, so we already talked about the board view. That's what we've been using. This whole thing is a board view. And the features, let me just run through the features again. The features of the board view are, we have a drag and drop. We can drag and drop our cards from there, and it gives more depth to your project. And we can add any relevant information to the card back on. We can also connect the card with thousands of apps, okay? That is in the integration using what we call the Power Ups tool. Now, we also have the calendar view. And don't forget that the board view is very useful when you're planning any project, and or probably when you're building a strong sales pipeline or probably a content pipeline. It's also good for maybe you're hiring. You can use that to create an hiring pipeline as well too. Okay. So and another thing too, you can use that as a point of reference for your team members, so everybody can actually access it and probably be on track as well too. So we have the calendar view. With the calendar view, we can track a team progress, and it gives a time dimension to your project. Okay, the calendar view gives a time dimension to your project. I'm not sure we'll be able to access that here. Okay, let me just click on start. That's if it doesn't request for card. Okay, good. All right. Let's see. Okay, this is the table view. We'll talk about this too. This is table view. We have, like I said, we have a whole lot of them. We have 6 of them rather. This is table view. And let's go back here. Good. This is what I wanted us to see. Good. So now we have the calendar view. If I click on this now, it's going to show us the calendar. Now you see we have what we created. We can see them because they are carrying the same date. You see, it will be in the same time stamp or the same time zone. Okay, the same time zone. Now, it helps to anticipate any roadblock. As in one of the importance of this calendar view, it helps to anticipate any roadblocks, events, or deadline to take your team smoothly from the start date to the finish line. Good. Now, one feature of the view is that it has something called calendar, and we can actually see it has 3 segments: the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. And just in case you're lost at any point in your calendar, let's say you're far lost in somewhere else, you can just click on today and it will bring you to the particular day that you're working on. Good. Now, if I click on a day, it's going to show something different. So what we are doing for that day. For week, it's going to show what we are doing for the week, and for months, it's going to show what we're running through for the month. Good. That's the calendar feature of it. Now, it also has something called, okay, I talked about it today arrow already. It also had, we can add start date and due dates to our task. Okay, don't forget our task here we're looking at is the card in a list. We had the start date and the due date. Good. Now, the start date, like I said earlier, it's when we're beginning the project, and the due date is when the project is running. It's completed. Good. Now, another thing again, we can stretch our card. We can drag and drop our card. We can decide to move this and put it somewhere else. We can drag and drop it. We can stretch it as we want, depending on how we want it. And take note, when we're stretching it to different date ranges. So you can see I'm stretching this from 5th of September all through to the 8th of September. We can do all of that. Good. We can do all of that. And don't forget that the card has a static function of wherever, regardless of the view, we'll be able to access the properties of the card and set the properties of the card as well too. Okay. Now, we can also create new cards. Okay, we can create new cards here in this view as well too. And we can add advanced checklist as well too. We can add advanced checklist to this old card. Now, we also have another view called the timeline view. Let's look at the timeline view. Excuse me. Now, we have the timeline view. Okay. You can see there's the route there visually time planned. Okay. Now, the timeline view has something we call lanes. Okay, it has something we call lanes. Now, these lanes, they are more like placeholders for the card. okay? And it can be shared by various cards as long as they don't share the same period of time. In which, if they share the same period of time, it means that it's going to create a new lane, okay? You can see now, this is our card. We can, so let's say for instance, I decide to put this here. Now, you can actually share various cards. It can actually be shared by various cards as long as they don't share the same period of time. Okay, as long as they don't share the same period of time, good. Now, another feature of this timeline view is that it also has the today time arrow. That is, wherever you are, you can click on today, and it will take you back to that day. Okay, and you can also add start and due date. Okay. Now, another thing here, we also have what we call unscheduled card drawer. Okay, we add unscheduled card drawer, unscheduled card drawer. Now, what the unscheduled card drawer mean is that things that we've not added dates to, okay, things that don't carry any date. Now, if you look at this now, is an unscheduled card drawer. If you click on it now, it will show us something that we have there that we do not affix any dates to, okay? But by the time we add a date to it now, we decide to add a date to this now, and let's say this, let's change this to, say, 10th. By the time we add a date to it now, it will leave that position. It's no longer there, so we no longer have that there, okay? It will be visible on the lane. It will be visible on the lane. Now, another function is we can actually zoom in and zoom out. You can zoom in. You can see we have this. Okay. You can zoom in and zoom out. Oh, it's not expanding. Okay. Now this view is very essential if you're planning a product sprint. Okay, from start to finish. That is from beginning to shipping the product. And it's also good for managing team workload and to prevent workload. What this means is that you can actually see clearly on the lane which team member is having a lot of workload and how to probably reduce this workload for the team for overall efficiency. Now, we also have other ones. We have the dashboard view. We have a dashboard view. Now, this dashboard view, you can add data points to your project to make decision faster and better. Now, usually it comes with 4 default dashboard. Okay, 4 default dashboard or 4 different default charts. 4 default charts, and we have the cards per list, cards per due date, cards per member, and cards per label. Okay, good. Now, the feature for it is number 1, it comes with 4 different charts, the default chart, and also it can be edited and we can delete, and also it shows us historical data. We can look at what we've done before, the past, and we look at what we are still going to do. It shows us the history of data properly and clearly in a bar chart manner. Okay. Now, this is usually very better when you're managing project roadblocks and when you're monitoring project progress as well too. Okay. Now, and it's also very important when you're trying to monitor what everybody is doing, know what everyone is doing as an admin of the dashboard, that is as a product manager per se. Good. Now I'm checking my time so we don't spend too much time. Now we also have what we call the map view. We have the map view here. We have the map view, and the map view is usually going to show us different locations. Shows different locations on the map. Okay, it's a great tool for planning and if you're planning in-person meetings, that is meeting that you'll be there in person. If you're mapping out location resources, and also if you're managing pipelines with physical items, probably it's very important for all of this. Now, let's say we have different points, and we create a different card for this point now. So we'll create a card and enter New York store. Let's create this now. You can search the map and probably add something to it. Oh, sorry. Search the map and let's see. Good. just put this. And, now you can see we have this here already. So if we click on it now, it's going to show us a card for this place that we can edit and probably do a lot of manipulations to. So the last one we have is a table view. Okay, is a table view. It's the newest tool that Trello has added, the table view. Now, we still have our card, our list, our labels, our members, and do this. Now, take note, if you look at all of these things, nothing changes. It's still the same tools on the workspace that we have. It's just that it is displayed differently. Okay, it is displayed differently. So it depends on what you're comfortable with and what you hope to achieve at the end of the day. Okay, so you choose and what is best for your theme. So you choose that, and usually you can actually combine views and probably look at what is happening from different angles. Let's say you're using the board view for your team and all of that, but you can as well go to the calendar view or look at the dashboard view and see and try to measure the productivity from each team and see what is left or what has been done so far. So it depends on how you use it basically. So we've talked a lot about Trello and how to set up a board in Trello, how to set up a workspace, set up a board, set up the list, and set up the card as well to how to be able to manipulate the card. Okay, so on your own, you should try out these features. You should explore these features, sign up on Trello, and create a free account on Trello. And I think you to require 1 or 2 verification. You do that, then you can as well just create demo projects. And I would really recommend that you start to create your own project, create your own products, and create your own project rather, instead of using the template. Because if you get too used to the template, you might not be able to create your own when there is need for it. So get comfortable with creating your own very well. Learn how it's done. Get to explore all the functionalities in this whole thing, from manipulating cards, moving card around, to viewing it from different angle, to adding members to all of this, and to even setting permission for all of this. Like I said, we'll not be able to set permission very well in this free mode. Excuse me. No set permission in this free mode. Oh. Oh, sorry. All right. So that's it now. So we've talked a whole lot about stuff. So don't forget to use labels as well. Don't forget to use labels. We have labels here. Okay. Let's just do a little bit of editing and just add one more label. All right. Now, because we're on free trial mode, we're seeing this custom feed. Okay. Because we're on free trial mode, we can add our own, and it will show there. Let's just go ready. And we'll select the type of the custom feed we want. Is it a text? Is it a number? Is it a drop down? Is it a date? Or is it a checkbox? So you can set that. Okay, let's decide to say maybe a checkbox, and you click this box if you want to show in front of the card, and you click create. So let's see. Good, now you can see it's here. We have it here already. So if I take this out now, we'll see it on that card. So it's already here on the card. Okay, see it here. Our own custom made field. Okay, good. Now let's work on this one instead. I'm just going to change a few things on this card. Make it look a bit attractive. Okay, we can move this around and put it here. Don't forget that this is not a template, like I said. You can create your list as it pleases you. Okay, you can create your list as it pleases you. We have just 6 minutes left. You can create your list as it pleases you. Multiple lists, as long as you have a plan for what you are doing. Okay, you can create as many as you can on this. Good. So, and don't forget the members. You can add members to your card as well too. You can add members. You can do a whole lot of stuff to it. So I'm just going to create a label. That's what I wanted to do before. That's what brought us here. So let me just add a new label. Retesting Now we can add this to different um, different cards. Okay, let's see. Let's add this to this now. And so testing. You can see. Okay, it's not showing it. Oh, sorry, because of the cover. Okay, now you can see we have this here. We have this here. Now we're seeing this green color on the timestamp because we've already clicked on it that the project is done. This goal is met already. So it has already ticked that it's done. Okay. The green here shows that it is done already. The stuff is done already. Okay. And this small icon we see here, small icon we see here, it shows a label we're attaching to that particular card. Now, with all of these tools that we've learned about, you'll be able to probably organize your project very well. So anybody can come, any of your team member can come, your stakeholders, they are your team member basically, they can come and probably understand what is there and probably grab information from what is there at any point in time. And second, you can add comments. We didn't really talk much about that. Let's do that. You can add comments. You can add comments. Add comments, and you can add emojis as well too. You can add emojis to it. And now, if you notice very well, okay, let's click on edit, and I'll show you something. All right, there. Let's just add a new one. Say okay. So good. Now we can add comments. We can mention someone. So when you mention someone, you're mentioning a member of your team, and it means that you are calling them to view what is there. Okay, and we can add any attachment of any sort to it as well too. Let's say we had this comment, and we click save. You can click save and all of that. Now, initially when I added the first comment, it showed a place called watch. There is a checkbox called watch there that will be there. Now, what it means that whatever changes that is done to this card, I will get a notification. I'll be notified of the changes. Okay, as long as I have connected and I'm watching the card, so whatever changes that is done on it, I'll be seeing it as well. So that is how it's one great tool that is very important for collaboration on Trello. So far, I think we've done quite a lot, and this will bring us to the end of today's class. We're already 2 minutes, but end of it. If you have any question, you can drop your question. I'm not seeing any. I'll just stop to share my screen from here. If you have any question, you can drop your question. Let's see. Okay, we have quite a lot here. Good. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the question. Okay. Okay, somebody said, is it possible, this is from Colady, it's possible for you to show us other team member view? I really don't get that team member view. Do you mean that if it's possible for us to probably add other team members, or probably as team member, if you'll be able to view properly? Or you can send me your email if you have an account with Trello, if you can create one immediately. You can send me your email, let me add you to it, and so you can see, log from your end and see. Okay, now someone said, how can you invite people to your workspace? I think I missed that. Do you use the share button on top? Now, there are 2 ways you can actually do this. Okay, let me just resume sharing my screen. Okay, there are 2 ways you can do this. Good. Now, you can click on this share button here. And when we do this, we're inviting somebody. We're inviting somebody here now. Okay, I don't have any of your email. I would have probably just invited someone here. We're inviting someone from here. So whenever you just do this now, you're sharing this board with somebody. Okay, either by using the person's email or the person's name. I don't know if a marker, if I can get a marker name here. Okay. So that's one way to share your board. Then another way, you can actually invite a team member to a particular card. Okay, you can invite a team member to a particular card. Let me keep going through the questions. Okay. What I will be saying if I'm, okay, that is from Colade. Okay, what I'll be saying if I'm not the owner of the project or the initiator of the project, or it's still going to be the same? Yes, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same dashboard that you'll be seeing, but just that you'll not be able to access some functionalities depending on the permission you're granted. Okay. Now, when you create a free account on Trello and you invite someone, usually there is no restriction. Okay, except I decide to set a restriction that, okay, you can't comment on this, you can't manipulate this and all of that, you can't see this and all of that. Otherwise, you see it bare as it is here. Okay. Now, someone said, if you have a lot of cards in a list, how can you easily filter and get a card out of many? Good. That is why we have the filter option here. You see, we have a filter card there. You can just enter the keyword and it will pop out everything. Okay, let's see. Now we can search for the card, search for member, search for label. Now let's click on halfway. Say halfway. Good. You see, it's already there. So we have different keywords you can use. You can use different keywords to probably sort your cards properly. Okay, sort your card properly, and you can select all these options. You can select any of these options depending on how you want to filter your card. Good. Now, someone said, this is from Gomina. Please, can you explain again the advantages Trello has over similar tools? Okay, I mentioned this earlier that one of the personal advantages I see that Trello has over some other tools is the power ups. The power ups, I feel like that's a big one. The power ups and the fact that you can actually update your boards from your mail too. Okay, that's integration is really, really a good one. And if you explore further, there's actually a function for you to install Trello to your mail. So you'll be able to do it seamlessly from your mail and you see everything there. Okay, so there's a power function that I feel like it's an advantage over some other one. And for me, the simplicity of Trello is everything. For me, in development, for me, I feel like simplicity is everything. Okay, being able to build things in the simple way, it's very, 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 very important because it helps other people to be able to follow up what you're doing. Okay, so the power ups is the advantage for me. Okay, now you can as well probably use other stuff and compare them on your own and determine which one is best for you. Okay, but for this class, we're just talking about Trello. Now, someone said, aside the use of PC, can we use our phones to create all of this on Trello? Now, you can actually log into Trello from your phone, but I'm not so sure you'll be able to access all of this very well. Even if you can access them very well, you will not have the ease, okay, of moving around, of the ease of navigation like it is on a computer system. But definitely you can access it from your phone. Now, Adebola Adeyinka says that when someone is invited to the workspace, will the person get a prompt via email? Also, what is the difference between box and Dropbox? Okay, now first of all, if I invite you right now, if I send you an invite, you'll get it in notification from your mail that you've been invited. If you don't have an account on Trello, it prompts you to create an account on Trello before you'll be able to access it properly. So you'll get a notification. Not just that, not just for invitation alone. When you're watching a card and then anything is done, you get a notification. When you're assigned to a particular task and you're almost at the due date or the due time, it will also send you a notification to complete your task. Okay. Okay. Solomon Odunisi said, can we use Trello on mobile phone? Okay, I think I answered that earlier on. Now, another person said, are all team members able to make changes to all sections of the card? Okay, I said this earlier on that it depends on the permission the admin granted. Admin here is you, the product manager. It depends on the permission you get. And like I said, if you're using a free account, when you invite team members to your board, automatically they have access to everything. It means that they can create, they can read, and they can delete as well too. But I think the only restriction there is that they will not be able to delete members from the board. That's the only restriction I feel like they can't actually access. But otherwise, they have all other things. They can view different lists, different boards in your workspace, except you place a restriction to all of this now. Now, okay, I think, okay, someone just sent a mail. Okay, let me just use this as a test. All right, this is from Edis Colade, so I'm just going to share with you. Sorry. Idris Colade. Right, okay, Idris Colade is here, good. So let's see. Okay, now you can see there is I click on something here. We usually have three let's call them KDA. We have three KDA of permission. We have three KDA of permission here. In when sharing our board. Number one, we have the admin. So we can't see the admin because I'm already the admin of this board. So we have the other two are observers and members. Observers and members. Now, members have privileges that observers don't have. Okay, so usually the member is like the normal KDA. You can view, you can edit cards. Okay, you can edit some board if you're given permission. Okay, now for the observer cannot edit. The observer can only comment and can engage, but cannot edit. Okay, that's the difference. So the admin has the sole permission to do all of this and still be able to remove and add members. That is how it is now. You can see here it's showing that I'm the admin already here. So let's just share. Okay, there's a default message here that I can add stuff to it. I can add a message to it if I want Colade to see the message. So I sent you a link. Please, have you accepted it, Colade? Just let us know in the chat box here. Okay, let us know in the chat box. Let's quickly run through it. Colade, we're waiting for you. Now, somebody asked a question that what is the difference between drop and drop boss and boss? Okay. Now, it is not the same basically. Okay. There are two different, should I say, cloud storage platform. Okay, there are two different platforms. Okay, but usually people prefer Dropbox than Box. People use Dropbox more than Box. Okay, you can actually just look at probably check them out on your own. Check Box out, check Dropbox out, and see which one is better. But for me, I think I stick to Dropbox. I don't think I've used Box in any way before. Okay, so I believe you've seen the invite, Colade. You've seen and you've joined as a member of team. Now let's do some more thing before we just run up the class. Now let's say I want to add Colade to this card now. Okay, I can just decide to say members add Colade to this card, and you can see the members